Yeah, hi, I'm Pete McGee. I'm an underwater photographer. I'm here on behalf of the Underwater Research Group, which is URG, and we're a citizen science group and we help scientists, and I'm the Weedy Seadragon champion for URG. Yeah, so we're at Kurnell today, which is on Botany Bay, which is a southern area of Sydney. So just behind us is the dive site. It's mainly a rocky dive site, so rocky reef covered in kelp, and it makes its way down to a sand line at about 12 to 20 metres. So it's an excellent habitat for Weedy seadragons. Weedy seadragons like a mix of, well, they need kelp, and they're usually close to the sand line where they can find their food, which is mice and shrimp. So this is ideal Weedy seadragon ecosystem. So Weedy seadragons are like one of the most amazing animals on the planet. So it's got a head not unlike a seahorse, that dragon sort of look in its face, and they're about up to 45 centimeters long, so they're quite large, bigger than a seahorse. And they, unlike a seahorse, they don't have a prehensile tail, so they don't have a tail that can grab onto things and hold on. So they're a free swimming animal. So really beautiful colours as well. So the ones around Sydney, they do vary a little bit, but around Sydney they've got beautiful orange, yellow bodies with spot patterns all over them, and even purples and blues. So really eye-catching and stunning looking animals. What we do is we take photos of the seadragons, and when you take a photo of a seadragon, they have, each individual seadragon has a unique spot pattern, including on its snout. And you can tell, therefore, using AI technology, you can tell which seadragon it is that you've photographed. And all the seadragons here have been photographed before, and they've all got names, scientific names and other names like Ricardo and Eleanor and etc. And you can come back and you can take a photo of another seadragon and match it. So what we're able to do with that is we're able to see how far these seadragons travel. We're able to see when they're breeding and who's breeding. We're able to also see how old the seadragons are. And this is all pretty new information for us. So we're starting to put together databases of information of how many dragons there are, seadragons there are, where they're going, what they're up to, and how old they are, and other information. They are facing a lot of threats. Their population, this is probably the most populated place in Sydney for Weedy seadragons, so it's a bit of a stronghold. But Weedy seadragons are generally not doing so well across Australia. They're in decline. There's still they're listed as being not threatened at the moment, although they previously were. The reason for that is they are actually found across the entire bottom half of Australia. The issues they face, however, is that they're often in very isolated populations and they don't really swim anywhere. So the seadragons here at Kurnell won't move anywhere else.
Yeah.
So if something happens at Kurnell, there's no way that new seadragons will get in here, and same with other populations. So as we're finding, the habitat is impacted, particularly kelp, which is their main habitat. Global warming, warming oceans mean that there's less kelp, and there's other things that humans do that it can upset the kelp as well, such as taking out crayfish, sea urchins, etc., which can upset the kelp balance. So all these little factors can really affect them. The other thing that we found 2 years ago in Australia is we had really big storms and like massive waves, really incredible amounts of rain, and we had 200 Weedy seadragons wash up in the Greater Sydney area within the space of a year. And during one fortnight in April, we had about half of those, almost 100 seadragons wash up on the shore. So the seadragons themselves, they're not strong swimmers. They tend to be fairly deep in the water, but when you have massive oceans, and waves coming through, then what will happen is they will get worked up and they won't be able to keep down. And if the waves push them onto shore, they'll be stranded. So massive storm events are also a real threat to the Weedies. And of course, there's predictions for more frequent, massive storms in future. So this is not good for them. I've had the privilege of seeing Weedy sea dragons when they're courting. So you might have like a male and female Weedy sea dragon. They put on a little bit of a dance routine. So, with their tails curling around, and they'll mimic each other in the water. So this is a really special event. So that would definitely stand out, just sitting back and enjoying the little courtship rituals and dance of the Weedy sea dragons. Yeah, well, even when I was small, I just went to the aquarium. I think for my 5th birthday, my parents said, do you want to have a birthday at home or do you want to take the family to the aquarium? And the answer was go to the aquarium. And I just never looked back. So I was the sort of kid that was in rock pools all the time, finding shellfish, trying to catch crabs, all that kind of thing. So from a very early age, I've just been right into the ocean. And when you live in Sydney, there's beaches everywhere. If you're not under the water, you can be surfing on the water. So it's part of the lifestyle here, and I love it.